Moin and welcome. Hello and welcome. This podcast is for motivated people who want to improve their Luxembourgish vocabulary, listening skills, and fluency by listening to compelling content. I'm Anne, your dedicated host and the driving force behind Luxembourgish with Anne, with a true passion for teaching my mother tongue since 2012. In this dynamic podcast, I'll share with you interesting short vocabulary lessons and topic conversations from level A1 to B1, and together we will build a strong foundation of the language you need to speak with confidence about everyday life topics. I also share exclusive learning strategies and insights for the Sproochentest Oral Exam. So join me on this exciting Luxembourgish learning journey. Bist du prett? Are you ready? Moin and welcome zu dieser neuen Episode, The Seasons in Luxembourgish. Now, don't we love to speak about the weather and seasons? So in this episode, you will not only learn what the seasons are called in Luxembourgish, but also useful vocabulary and sentences so that after having listened to this episode, you will be able to talk with ease in your everyday life in small talk conversations about the seasons. Now, I won't talk today about the weather as I covered this topic in a previous episode in November 2023. So maybe you can listen to that episode as well. By the way, did you know that the seasons are a topic of the Sproochentest? So if your intention is to sit the language exam to acquire Luxembourgish citizenship in the upcoming month, then this episode is for you, and listen carefully. So, bist du prett? Are you ready? Dann lass. We will start with the vocabulary for the seasons. Now, do you know how to say the seasons in Luxembourgish? This is die Jahreszeiten. Listen and repeat after me. Die Jahreszeiten. Okay, so the seasons. And if you want to say 4 seasons is vier Jahreszeiten. Vier Jahreszeiten. It's a feminine noun. If you want to say one season, you will say eine Jahreszeit. Okay? Good. So we will start with the spring. This is die Frühjahr. Listen and repeat after me to practice your pronunciation. Die Frühjahr. Die Frühjahr is a neutral noun, therefore we use the D apostrophe, the neutral definite article. So to say the spring is die Frühjahr, the summer is the Sommer, and pronounce it Sommer, the Sommer. The fall or autumn is den Herbst, den Herbst, and the winter is the Winter, the Winter. So, the Sommer, den Herbst, the Winter are masculine nouns, therefore we say de or den, depending on the annual. And for the spring, do you remember how to say the spring? Yes, this is die Frühjahr, okay? And let's listen now to a little poem for you to help you remember the 4 seasons, die 4 Jahreszeiten in Luxembourgisch. Bist du prett? Gut. Eng Mam hat 4 Kinder, die Frühjahr, de Sommer, den Herbst und de Winter. Die Frühjahr bringt Blumen, de Sommer bringt Obst a Gemäß, den Herbst bringt Trauben, and the winter bringt the Schnee. So this means a mother had 4 children, so eng mom had 4 Kinder, spring, summer, fall and winter, so die Frühjahr, de Sommer, den Herbst and the winter. Die Frühjahr bringt Blumen, spring brings flowers. The summer brings fruits and vegetables, so the summer bringt Obst a Gemäß. Fall brings grapes, den Herbst bringt Trauben. And the winter bringt snow, this is on the winter bringt the Schnee. Okay. Good. Let us go now through the 4 seasons. We will start with the winter. Now, the winter starts with the letter W, and this is pronounced like a V in English, like in view. So we say winter, the winter. And always use the preposition before a season when you want to say in. For example, in winter will be am Winter. Am Winter. Let's practice with 2 sentences and use core vocabulary for the winter. For example, am Winter, als het ganz kaal an het schneit, heians do. This means in winter it is very cold and it snows sometimes. Let's repeat. Am Winter, als het ganz kaal an het schneit, heians do. Donc, het schneit means it snows and pronounce it het schneit. Het schneit. It comes from the verb schneien, to snow. And the snow is in Luxembourgish the Schnee. So watch out here the pronunciation, the difference between the Schnee and het schneit. Another sentence, for example, to say in winter it gets dark early, you would say am Winter gëtt het vrij deichter. Ich wiederholen. Am Winter gëtt het vrij deichter. So in winter it gets dark early. Am Winter gëtt het vrij deichter. Good. Let's move on with the springtime, and this is called in Luxembourgish. Do you remember? Of course. Vrijjaar. Vrijjaar. Okay? And how would you say in spring? Yes, you would say am Vrijjaar. Am Vrijjaar. And you have in Vrijjaar the word vrij, and vrij means early. So literally this means early year. So it's easy to remember. We'll practice again with 2 sentences. For example, to say, in spring, trees get green leaves and the temperatures rise. So in spring, this is am Vrijjaar. Trees get green leaves is krijent beem greng blieder. Donc am Vrijjaar krijent beem greng blieder are green leaves. And the temperatures rise, an temperaturen klammen. Okay, let's repeat. Am Vrijjaar krijent beem greng blieder, an temperaturen klammen. Another sentence, to say, we often go to the woods for a walk in spring. The weather is good and mild. So this is, wir gehen dacks am Vrijjaar an de Busch spazieren. D'wetter as gut a Müll. Let's break it down. So we often go to the woods for a walk is wir gehen dacks an de Busch spazieren. Dacks is a synonym of oft. So you can also say wir gehen oft an de Busch spazieren. And then we add it here in spring, and in spring comes after dacks, after the adverb. Donc wir gehen dacks am Vrijjaar an de Busch spazieren. Because in Luxembourgish the place comes at the end, so after time in Luxembourgish. And then how would you say the weather is good and mild? Yes, this is d'wetter as gut a Müll. Müll vom mild. D'wetter as gut a Müll. Wir wiederholen den ganzen Satz. Wir gehen dacks am Vrijjaar an de Busch spazieren. D'wetter as gut a Müll. Great. Let's move on with the Sommer. The Sommer, and let's practice immediately with 2 sentences. For example, to say that the summer is your favorite season, you would say, de Sommer as meng Lieblingsjahreszeit. De Sommer as meng Lieblingsjahreszeit. Meng Lieblingsjahreszeit means my favorite season. And this is a question. So they will ask you the question in the Sproochentest Oral Exam. Wat as Lieblingsjahreszeit? So what is your favorite season? Mhm. Een andere Satz, for example, to say that you like to spend the summer on the beach and you like also to swim in the sea. This is: Ich verbringe gern de Sommer op der Plage und ich schwammen auch gern am Meer. Okay, so I like to spend the summer on the beach is: Ich verbringe gern de Sommer op der Plage. Ich verbringe gern de Sommer op der Plage. Again, here we put the Sommer after the adverb gern, and plage, this is the place, comes after the season. And I also like to swim in the sea is: ich schwammen auch gern am Meer. Wir wiederholen. Ich verbringe gern den Sommer auf der Plage und ich schwammen auch gern am Meer. So repetition is a good way to remember vocabulary. Okay, let's move on with the fall. Do you remember how to say the fall? Because most of my students always forget that season. So how to say this in Luxembourgish? This is den Hirscht. Den Hirscht. We practice with sentence number 1. Am Hirscht sind Beem fawig und Kanner sammele Kasten. So, am Hirscht sind Beem fawig. Maybe you understand this. This is: in fall the trees are colorful. And Kanner sammele Kasten means and the children collect chestnuts. So Kasten are chestnuts. Wir wiederholen. Am Hirscht sind Beem fawig und Kanner sammele Kasten. Another sentence: how would you say in fall it is often humid and foggy? So this is: am Hirscht as het oft fiest an nivelisch. Fiest humid, nivelisch foggy. Am Hirscht as het oft fiest an nivelisch, or you can say am Hirscht as het daks fiest an nivelisch. Awesome. Now you have learned a lot of useful vocabulary to talk about the seasons. And are you ready for a translation exercise about the seasons? Yeah? Bist du prett? Yeah? Okay, good. Let's get started. Do you remember how to say 4 seasons? Hopefully you said 4 Jahreszeiten. And how would you say my favorite season is spring? So in Luxembourg she would say Meng, because it's feminine. Meng Lieblingsjahreszeit as Frühjahr. So we would say the spring in Luxembourgish. Donc Meng Lieblingsjahreszeit as Frühjahr. How would you say the winter is very cold in Luxembourg and it snows? So the winter is very cold in Luxembourg is: de Winter as ganz kaal zu Lützeburg. And it snows, you would say, an het schneit. Okay, good. Another sentence for you to translate. How would you say in summer the temperatures rise and it is sunny? So in summer the temperatures rise is: am Sommer klammen Temperaturen and it is sunny an het as sonnig. So am Sommer klammen Temperaturen an het as sonnig. Another sentence: in fall it is mostly cloudy and foggy. So hopefully you've said am Hirscht as het meestens bedeckt an nivelisch. Okay, so mostly is a meestens, cloudy means bedeckt, okay, and foggy we have seen before, nivelisch. Am Hirscht as het meestens bedeckt an nivelisch. And a last sentence for you to translate: the trees get green in spring. Dat is: de beem die greng am Frejjoer. T'beem gie greng am Frejjoer. So the trees are t'beem, to get green. Donc sie gie comes from the verb gin, gie greng am Frejjoer. And here we have to say gie greng because of our annual. If you don't know our annual, you can head over on my webpage, luxembourgishwithanne.lu, and then search it in the blog where I have a lesson about our annual. Now, I hope that you find this episode interesting and helpful, especially for those who intend to sit the Sproochentest in the upcoming months. And by the way, did you know that we offer regularly Sproochentest prep classes where we prepare students who have the level A22 to sit their Sproochentest Oral Exam successfully, and we work through all the topics which will come up in the oral exam. I have put the link in the show notes so that you can check it out. Merci fürs No-Lauschren, so thank you for listening. Bis nächste Woche. Adi!